Hello guys, welcome back to another martial arts video with RG Martial Arts. If you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe and like this video. Also make sure to check out our Instagram page at Roland Gluckler for daily martial arts, fitness and exercise content. Today's video is going to be more of a Muay-Thai and Kun Khmer video. So, one thing that is very similar about Muay-Thai and Kun Khmer, although there's a lot of politics, one is from Thailand and Kun Khmer is from Cambodia, where I am currently based and training it. One thing that is very similar is the types of elbows and knees that are used. So in today's video, I'm going to be discussing some of the types of elbows that are used and that you can learn and apply to your training or use in fights. Now there are lots of types of elbows, even I am still discovering new ones, but these are some of the ones that I think you should know. Let's get straight into it. Alright, so the first elbow is basically just a simple elbow which comes out like this, okay? One thing to make sure with this elbow is that often what people do is they overstep the elbow and all your opponent has to do is go backwards and next thing you know, you're flying to the floor. Alright, so with this elbow, you want to have a strong stance, whether you stand like this, whether you're a southpaw or you stand with a more karate stance. Whatever it may be, make sure that when you're stepping in for the elbow, you're raising your leg and you're bringing it down, but making sure that your hips are bringing in the power, that you're not stiffening up the top of your traps or your back or your shoulders, but you're just thinking of the tip of your elbow and driving it straight through, right? So basically, just like this, bang, okay? Once again, bang. Now with this elbow, there's also two variations. One that I just showed you, which comes down just like this from the side and goes straight. This can be aimed towards the temple, the neck, or even slicing through the cheek or the eye. And the second one, which goes more straight into the face, is coming from the top, all right? So this is also seen quite often, and you want to make sure, again, you're relaxed. Basically, it's coming from the top and slicing through. Now from my experience, this one has a slightly higher chance of actually hitting the target because if your opponent is standing like this or like this, you're slicing straight through that middle point of the guard, which is often harder to defend unless they close up completely. So once again, same thing, same dynamics, you're coming from the top, all right? The best thing to do with this elbow is to practice it as much as you can on the bag. Again, making sure you're relaxed, bringing in the correct form, and a lot in shadow boxing, because that's all about technique, bringing it correctly, and if you can do it slow, you can do it fast. Now the next one I want to show looks a bit like this. It's going upwards. Once again, this is very beneficial, especially when you're getting into the clinch and the person may be very close to you and being a bit careless. They may bring their face closer and all you have to do is step in and boom, slide it up, or if you're in the other way, just like that. You can just go straight in like that, okay? So this one, again, making sure hips are moving as well. You're not tensing up your shoulders too much. You want to practice it up, up, up. It's slightly more difficult to practice with a bag like I have. If you have one of those hanging bags, it's slightly easier to practice, but one thing you can do on the bag is to just slowly go in like this. Boom, 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 just to get a feeling of your elbow touching something solid. The next one is like a spear or a slicing elbow. This is my favorite elbow. I've used it in one of my fights and it knocked out my opponent. It's honestly not used enough in my opinion. It's also a very dangerous one. Now there's an argument about whether this is legal or not. Now there's a difference between a 12 to 6, which is coming straight up to down, which is banned in mixed martial arts, and what I'm talking about, which is coming from the side, which should be legal, and it is legal. However, a lot of people cannot differentiate between the two, and that they argue that, you know, it's illegal. But what I'm talking about is it's coming from the side and it's hitting in the temple or right above the temple or below even sometimes, cutting through the cheek. Okay, so again, the best way is to practice it in the air. You want to go up and bring it in, left, bring it in. So once again, bop, stay nice and loose, bop, going, bop, 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 okay? And this one you can also actually practice on the bag. So once again, bop, just like that, bop. You can bring it to the side. Often what will happen is that you might end up scraping your elbow a bit, but that's okay, it will condition it. So again, bop, just like that. All right, now for the last one, I'm going to be talking about the spinny elbow. You could actually make an entire video on this, but I'll try and keep it short, okay? One thing that I noticed myself is that there's two ways you can throw this. One is when you completely rotate your body 360 with the elbow, so you go like this. And the other thing is when you're standing, you see the person is coming close, the head, and you pivot, throw it, and then turn around again. So that's two variations of the spinny elbow. Once again, full rotation, or bang, just like that, okay? So what's next then is to think of how you can set these up. One way of doing it is if you have a push kick coming, you catch the push kick, pull it back, and do a full rotation, boom. Another thing that I think is the most useful to remember when throwing the spinny elbow is that it's very effective if your opponent is up against the ropes, because they have nowhere to go. Whereas if you throw it in the middle of the ring, you're going to do a full rotation and end up falling on your face, and all they have to do is step back. But if they're up against the ring, you're occupying them, they're in the corner, and bang, you can pull through with full power. So that's my recommendation for how to use this in a fight. As for practicing it, I would recommend, again, on the bag, in the air, you can come up with like a flow drill with all the elbows combined. We go 1, 2, bang, 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 all right, just like that. And the setup for this one, my favorite setup, is to lightly indicate an elbow cutting through like this, and then rotate and come with the other elbow. So once again, boom, just like that. All right guys, that's it for our video on elbows today. If you enjoy these kinds of videos on Kun Khmer, Muay-Thai or kickboxing techniques and breakdowns, make sure to leave in the comments below and tell me what else you would like to see a video for, and I will gladly make it for you. Again, if you haven't already, kindly make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel by clicking the circle right here. Thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you on my next video. Take care.